Welcome back, family, to another episode of Walking in Wisdom, formerly So Walking in Wisdom. And today we join the many of those who have already watched The Other Woman Part 2, which is at 1.9 million in one day. This tells me this is a subject of contention. And we have to give our hat and flowers to this beautiful young lady, Uche Montana. If you have not yet subscribed to her platform, this is one very compelling reason why you should. She's at 990,000 subscribers. Let's push her out to 1 million before the end of the month of November, indeed. And she collaborated with the beautiful Shafi Bello, who played the role of Queen, the married woman of 25 years, and the handsome William Benson, the gentleman in the middle. So today we're going to unpack The Other Woman Part 2, and we're going to really focus on grace versus graceless. So if you have not already subscribed to the platform, please be sure to do so. But before we do, let's get into a little bit of housekeeping. This platform was indeed inspired by Sonia Uche and her wisdom that always on display, eloquent, to the point, leaving her mark, certainly in the Nollywood industry, and she chooses to exercise wisdom. She elects to season her conversation with salt and with grace. And as women, as ladies, as women of grace, this is a tool we should be using. So there's a thing or two we can take from Sonia Uche, not just her movies, but in terms of how she interacts in real life. So if you have not subscribed to Sonia Uche Television, she's at 1.1 million, thanks to all of you. So please be sure to continue to fan out. Let's make it 2 million, 3 million strong and counting indeed. And yes, welcome to Walking in Wisdom. This is a fairly new platform, and we speak about everything character analysis and 4 reasons why you should be part of this exclusive elite group. If you know better, you decide to do better. That's reason one. If you're a man or woman of faith, that's reason two. If you enjoy Nollywood and you enjoy thinking about it and talking about the characters, that's reason three. Reason four, if you're part of the Nollywood diaspora and you enjoy reaching out to brothers and sisters across the continent or across the global sphere. If you know global leadership can do better, and you're demanding more from them, it starts with you, regardless whether you're Generation Z or Baby Boomer or Generation X like myself. We all need to do our own part, and it starts with one man, one woman at a time, looking in a mirror and uplifting themselves. Only when you're doing so can you criticize anyone else. And if you decide to take on that challenge, join us by simply subscribing, simply clicking the thumbs up, simply leaving your comments. If you have a movie you would like us to analyze, please be sure to do so. And of course, you want to fan out and share. When you find a gem in the rough, you certainly want to share the good news, and it is totally free. All you need to do is self-reflect. So again, today we're going to ask the question, looking at grace versus graceless and how to walk away um, as a woman of dignity, as a lady of class indeed. And we're not just solely talking about how the person looks. We're not just looking at a physical and the face of the person. We're looking at the ability to walk away with a level of grace. So we're going to do a little bit in terms of rather than being graceless, you want to be graceful and know when to walk away. So we have many individuals certainly giving their 2 cents, but before we do so, it's very compelling. Before we get into some stats that I did right here on this platform, let's first of all take a moment of silence and thank the many men and women behind the scenes for such beautiful creation as this and many others, not just on Uche Montana, but Uchenna Mabano, Sonia Uche Television, Maurice Sam Television, Ruth Kadari Television, Uche Nancy Television, and counting, Clinton Joshua Chinenebe, and counting. Miwa Oliver family and counting, please be sure to support members of the Nollywood industry. Different generations do differently. There's no right or wrong, but it definitely, one thing is true, it takes a team. So look at the beautiful production, including Uchenna Mubano as a producer and the beautiful Shafi Bello, two beautiful actresses, two different generations coming together to collaborate and really fine tune what that looks like to be the other woman or being the wife of the other of the being the wife in the relationship and how to do it with class and dignity indeed. And that's what I love. Now, family, again, this particular character analysis is really how to walk away. If you already saw the movie, and most of you have, we're not here to give a movie review. You have many others that will do so, and that's wonderful. We are here to grow, elevate, and level up indeed. So we asked the question in our Walking in Wisdom. Are you the other woman, knowingly and proud? It was a decision that you wanted to do, or were you the other woman unknowingly? That means the spouse, the person lied, right? Unfortunately, this number should be a lot lower in terms of being proud about it, right? And also the entire number should be a lot less. But unfortunately, we're living in a day and time where lying comes so easy. And sometimes in this movie, what you see, sometimes we choose not to know, even though we have the gift of woman's intuition. So, based on Amanda's character, her best friend, Banky, was saying, do the work, do the due diligence, do the investigation. Part of the problem is that, of course, he gave the wrong name. But in this day and age, it's so very easy to find out. You may have, it may cost you. And I've said in a relationship, if I have to pay because I doubt someone, I shouldn't be in that relationship. So that's the first litmus test. So let's get in today's session. I'm very excited to talk about it. And again, if you want to put in your vote, we encourage you to do so as we consider the other woman indeed, and let's have the conversation. And so we're looking indeed at the other woman, what happened. And again, it's not so much to give you analysis of the characters. We want to bring forth really some key points when speaking about relationships. And one of the key points in this movie should be the emasculation of men. Men are different creatures from women. And if you say I do, there's a point in time where you need to know he has a role and you have a role. Now, if he leaves and he's not doing it, yes, many a times you see women gracefully picking up the baton and holding down the fort. But when he's ready to come back, we should be able to be gracious enough. If you decide he's going to come back, to give him back, surrender that role indeed. So that's one key point in this movie. The other key point is how to engage, how to communicate as a woman of grace and not be graceless. There's no reason to age shame. And I was so happy to see that age did not come into this movie. Age was not a factor in this movie indeed. And the other woman, the younger woman, did not use that as a weapon indeed. For her age, being that she was Generation Z or millennial, she certainly followed wise advice from her friend, another frenemy, and decided to speak and confront both of them based on their issues and let them know she is no longer going to be in that equation. She was pulled in based on a lie, and she's choosing to pull herself out. And that is a woman of grace, a woman of wisdom, a virtuous woman. When you realize you made a mistake, you have to apologize, own up to it, and certainly say no more. So, three tips for Manda to find her own Odugu after being treated in such a way. It's important to do some deep self-inventory. Then you definitely want to vet for your emotional availability. Make sure you're ready to get involved if it's a year, 6 months, 2 years later, and then kind of shift her relationship paradigm, right? And stop being a partner to rescue someone as opposed to being an equal partner in your respective role. But more specifically, I would like to spend some time as a gift to you in the community. It's about how to stop being the other woman, right? Now that you found out, and I was in a situation when I found out, what did I do? Right? I walked away, listened to the explanation, walk away, right? If you have an opportunity to go to that person the way Amanda did to Queen and have that conversation, great. If not, that's okay as well, as long as you're able to cut ties. So cut all contact, whether it's blocking the number or email, and avoiding letting your staff know, like Amanda said, please, I'm not entertaining this person anymore. Let him know I'm not available. So avoid contact, face the reality of what it is, accept the situation. If you knew about it, you have to say, I have value, and therefore that's not going to occur anymore. But in this case, she was not aware of it, even though she didn't do her due diligence, she still wasn't aware of it. So therefore, you have to understand, okay, you have to listen to your woman's intuition. I call the Holy Spirit or the Ruach HaKodesh. And then don't chase. Stop putting energy into a person who is not available. And as the wise friend Banky stated to her, they have 25 years married. That means they were together even longer. They are vested in each other. Otherwise, he would have long gone. So, regardless of what he would have stated in terms of his feelings for you, yes, you made him feel like a man again. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have feelings for his wife. He was just angry because he was being emasculated and being mistreated to a certain extent. So it's important to you also to do what? Build your own life. So you focus on yourself and level up. Spend time with others who love you, like Banky and women of wisdom, and find a new purpose. Put that energy somewhere else or put it back into your business. Because once you shift in relationships, some of that energy you leave and you put on that person. So reclaim that. And then understand your role and heal. Reflect without blame. Think about what led into the situation and do not blame yourself. Do not make excuses. Avoid rationalizing their behavior or the situation or what a wife did. That has nothing to do with you. When he conveyed his thoughts as to what his ex-wife did, right? That was the excuse he used. And in Amanda's character, she was able to relate it to Queen. So that should have given her some sort of um, understanding of why her husband did what she did. But Queen is a smart person. She knew. And to tell you the truth, in this particular movie, her husband did convey to her, right? You've gone so far to allow the staff to disrespect me. And the wonderful thing about this movie at the end, even the main butler, Festus, he told the madame at the end, yes, you did emasculate him. He said he saw him shrink, right? So she knew, but she was also angry about something else. Seek professional help, seek a coach, seek a prayer advisor, etc., and know that you deserve better. It's about valuing you. We spoke about that many a times, but it is certainly important for you to walk away. And this is a description of what the other woman looks like: a bucket on her head, walking in the wilderness, a lonely path, because it is indeed a lonely path, right? But you want to reclaim that image from being graceless to having a lot of grace indeed. And though we're seeing the image of what grace looks like, a lot of it comes from your other attributes, the softer skills, the way you convey your thoughts, outline your thoughts, the way you communicate with the other person, even though you're disappointed or angry. You keep your grace intact. No shouting, no age shaming, no throwing bottles, no standing on the table, no jumping. All of those things that you might have seen, all of those behaviors you might have seen on especially Western media, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. That was just a way to try to mentally offer an option for women and girls, right? Or girls in adult bodies, right? We are virtuous women by design. We were created, we were fearfully and wonderfully made. So we have to operate with grace. And in case you think there's no distinction between graceful and graceless, there is, right? And there's some key attributes here we could consider in terms of graceful, you have elegance, delicate, joyous, kind, decent, refined, classy. Um, and again, some of it might be linked to the outside of physical attributes, but it's really about being refined and decent and being kind. And then you have graceless, which talks about maybe clumsy, without grace, mannerless. I think that's the part that comes out most when you act as if there's absolutely no etiquette. And certainly you're not a virtuous woman. We could go back to the Proverbs woman being a virtuous woman, likened to be a graceful woman indeed. So overall, I would say not to make this video short. If I have time, I'll do a part two of this one that talks about each character. But I certainly wanted to most importantly highlight how to walk away with grace. And I gave you some key tips so that if by chance you are the 44%, you would understand that you have worth and you certainly want to walk away. Now that you know better, you want to do better and become indeed a woman of grace and virtue. That's it for another episode of Social Walking in Wisdom, Walking in Wisdom. And again, we encourage you to support if you have not already done so. Please be sure to support this wonderful piece of work. Indeed, as we close out, let's see a little bit of the end. Fair use, educational purposes only. The chemistry was a 10, and this is such a beautiful, beautiful way to, I would say, end the movie. I believe anyone who's seen this would have already seen the movie. If you have not, please be sure to go see the movie. Indeed. And I love the headshot. Beautifully done. And again, this was clearly, when we consider what's going on, this is clearly the touch of Shafi Bello and Uche Montana. And job well done. Ladies, take your flowers. William Benson, thank you for coming along on the ride, along with Uchenna Babano and the entire cast and crew. Family, thank you so much for listening. And as always, shalom.